Hey, welcome to Your Pamphlet. My name is Rob, and I'm the host of this one-man show coming to you every Monday, 6 a.m. UK time. And today, we should definitely, as you can tell from the title, talk about the biggest, I would argue, like the biggest music festival, one of the biggest music festivals, at least, in the world, that happens every April. And that's, of course, Coachella. The good, the bad, the cringe, the memorable moments, my thoughts overall, I guess, on the headliners, and also some pleasant surprises, I guess, that have happened throughout these past 2 weekends. So if you don't know, Coachella basically spans over 2 weekends. It's a 3-day weekend festival that repeats itself for 2 weekends in a row, basically, and it always happens in April. It's held in a very deserty island not island. Oh my god, very deserty part of the U.S. So it's very warm. It's super hot on social media because every year, I guess, apart from of course having massive lineups of very, very popular artists, they also have a lot of influencers attending and a lot of celebrities attending, and there's a lot of interactions between different singers and non-singers and actors and yada yada yada. So as you can imagine, it pulls a lot of focus, I guess, on many different things. Mostly of course is the performances, but also who attends, who wears what, and what's the who is the more popular, what's the crowd etiquette, and like what's going on and all of that. So yeah, I mean, I would say that's prime American music festival, and in true American fashion, to be fair, they have some pretty scandalous every year behaviors that happen at these festivals. They don't have the etiquette, I guess, that other countries impose on people attending. Like the UK has a very strict, but also, controlled, and like rightfully so, organization when it comes to these type of festivals, specifically the Reading one or the Glastonbury or anything of the sorts. Like they're very, very well organized. I think Coachella is more like free-for-all influencer overload situation. Like it's just really bad. There's like tiers of attendees, like from the fans, I guess, to people who just go for the cloud and all that stuff. People get specifically grouped in certain houses, I guess, to stay there, of influencers and all that stuff, to promote products and all that. It's just, as America does, like they just bring it well beyond the actual purpose of the festival, which is of course to enjoy music. So that's something that I've always been sort of critical about, but it seems like apparently this year has been extra ridiculous. Like very bad crowd behavior, very strong discontent between the people, as specifically people who are not influencers attending this and being swarmed by all these D-listers, I guess. Is just quite funny, quite weird. It's in true American fashion, if I have to be honest. Like that's just how it is. That's what you can expect from the US at the moment, specifically. But yeah, apart from that, of course, the lineup was quite interesting this year. We've had the three main headliners have been for these past 2 weekends: Sabrina Carpenter, Justin Bieber, and Karol G. And I would say they're pretty solid headliners, I guess. I think Karol G definitely deserved a spot, and I'm very, very surprised and concerned that no one is really talking about her in all of these reviews that I've seen. Like no time is spent on Karol G, which is ridiculous, because I would argue that she's probably out of the three the one who maybe deserved this the most. Like, don't get me wrong, Justin Bieber is whatever. Like, this felt more like, his performance felt more like sort of like a celebration of his very long career, which is fine. Like some performance like at Coachella feel like that. They're you know given like that, like they're like tour de force, I guess, like a celebration of a legacy, right? And that definitely felt like that for Justin Bieber's performances. But for others, it's like and most of the times Coachella at least is a crowning jewel of your peak performance, or like peak commercial era. And it's not like the halftime show. The halftime show to me feels more like tail end of your career. Coachella is more like a middle of your career. Like you're very big, you're starting to grow so much, and you deserve all this attention. And that's sort of like also why I think Sabrina Carpenter made sense, except for the fact that she doesn't have as many popular hits as, you know, other performers. I would argue that Karol G has more like bangers and hits, but no, not bangers necessarily, but like more hits, bona fide hits, like globally at least, than Sabrina Carpenter. But it's just like a virtue of how many projects have been put out. Like Sabrina, she has had multiple projects, of course, before, but her true commercial breakout was with Short and Sweet. She has some songs from Emails I Can't Stand that are very popular in the US, and then of course there's been the latest album, Man's Best Friend. So she had very little to work with, to be honest, and that's sort of why the set list, Sabrina's set list was sort of slumpy towards the middle, I guess. And that's fine. I mean, that's okay. I think maybe if she had another project out, it would have been an extra project out. It would have been even more satisfying of a performance. But again, she's been on the rise for quite a while. She's solidified herself to be like, you know, very, very important piece of pop culture and pop music. So she definitely deserved a spot. And Justin Bieber, I think it was more like sort of like again, like tour de force, like a legacy celebration. The way it was executed, that's another different topic that we will discuss because it was been very controversial on the internet. But I want to go first. I mean, Karol G, no notes. Like she was just, you know, I really, really appreciate, and I think she is definitely the most popular female Latina singer, I guess, in that sense. Like, for sure, I think at the moment that's probably her, and it was so good. It was so good to see her perform like that, and to get like, you know, a very massive crowd. Just very, very good. Sabrina, I enjoy it, and I do think it was a lot of good fun, and I think the concept of it overall was also so cool. Like the inspiration of all like classic movies, and where she sort of like played certain characters, like, I don't know, even Dirty Dancing was a strong influence there as well, and all the cameos that she had as well. And the biggest cameo, of course, that she had was Madonna this past weekend, where she came out and they performed together like a prayer, and I can't remember, they performed another song as well, I think, and then they performed a new song of Madonna's that is, you know, going hand in hand with the announcement of her new album coming out in June, I think. So that was amazing, and that Madonna song is she then released a song specifically on streaming platforms, and that's number one iTunes on iTunes in the US. So that's massive, like just insane. And I'm actually quite excited because this is like Madonna. This is a bit of a segue, but Madonna basically calling this album Confessions 2, a nod to Confessions on a Dance Floor, which gave us hits like Hung Up and Sorry. Like, these are incredible tracks, and it's just a very fitting moment, I think, to release something like this. I'm curious to see if she's gonna update what she means by Confessions on the Dance Floor, like dance music in that sense. If it's gonna be more modern, a modern take on it. I would think that it's gonna be like that. But I'm very excited. This song also is a perfect intro to the album, so I'm very pumped. Like a new Madonna era that it's like, you know, Confessions coded. I'm so in for it, and I do think should, like, you know, also have a little nod to Hung Up, like in terms of sample and turning it into like a banger, like a dance banger. So we'll see what happens with that. But that was very exciting, and then seeing them both on stage together was just such a cool moment. So that's probably one of my favorite cameos that we've had this past 2 weekends in Coachella. So maybe Coachella ever. Like Madonna, like that's insane. So good. I felt it. That was amazing, amazing, amazing. But yeah, I mean, the concept of it all, of Sabrina's segment, like her headlining show, was so cool. Really, really loved it. Very, very well polished, and it seems like it's been, a concert that's been built for months and months and months, and you can tell she took time and care in this, and like in putting this together. And I'm honestly so impressed. Like, very, very good. No notes, apart from, again, the fact that maybe she should have waited maybe a year or two to like put out a new project, and then she could have done this. But that was really good. Then let's talk about, finally, in terms of the headliners, about Justin Bieber. Justin Bieber. Very controversial, because compared to the other two ladies that I've talked about, Karol G and Sabrina Carpenter, he has done very little for this show. And it seemed also very low effort in terms of setting, in terms of like, the set design, and in terms of what he was wearing, and in terms of what he was, performing, and how he was performing. There was literally very little thought put into this. And, like, this is just nothing new. I wasn't surprised in a way, because this is a new version of Justin Bieber we've had for a while. Like, the old, like, very young Justin Bieber used to like actually perform like Michael Jackson style almost. That's been long gone. Like, that's been done. Like, we haven't had him for quite, I would say, for more than 5 years, maybe. Yeah, probably something like that. Probably even before 2020, to be fair. So I wasn't really surprised in terms of that quality of that. But I think what really caused a bit of a rift online was his segment, quite long segment, of him just sitting down at a table and opening his computer and projecting, basically like streaming his old YouTube videos, and he was sort of singing over them, not really fully singing over them, and he went all through some old deep cuts, which is in concept very, very cute. My opinion is that I think, okay, let's just say first what people think about it. People thought that this was either a genius, or the stroke of genius, or a cop out, and that no like female artist would have been able to like do this and be, sort of having, people praise them for. So my opinion, I guess, falls a bit in the middle. I think it is genius in a way, the concept of it, because out of all the male artists, at least, that could have done this, he's probably one of the few ones that actually has a point in doing this, because he's one of the first viral internet viral pop stars that we ever had. Like, he became famous as a child star, like through the internet and through YouTube videos and all that stuff. So this just makes sense, and it's quirky, and it's cute to like have a celebration of that through him watching YouTube videos of himself and like, putting them on a massive stage like that. What I don't find I guess as compelling, let's just say, is one, the fact that it was so long. Like, it was longer than I would have done it, maybe. Like, it would have been fine if it was like 1 or 2 songs or 3 max, but it went on for quite a while. And two, again, because it was hand in hand with a very low effort rest of the show, I guess, in general, and concept and everything else, it just, to me, made it feel like it was just lazy. Of course, that's how some people can see it, and I, in a way, see it. But I don't find it so outrageous as other people are saying. Like, I think, in a way, just think about it. It's Justin Bieber. Like, he, like, also, like, has generations of girls falling in love with him, and he's had people falling in love with him ever since he was a kid through YouTube and everything else. Like, that just makes sense. Like, it just makes sense. It's just intelligent, and it's just good stuff, and people definitely talked about him. Like, that's the thing. Like, this was a good move in terms of marketing and everything else. In terms of full execution, I guess it should have been done better. It should have been done a bit differently, and it shouldn't have been this long and all that. So that's my 2 cents on it. I think smart, but also what the fuck? Like, come on, let's put some effort in other things then. Like, that's what I mean. But it's fine. It's whatever. I also liked the surprise that he brought. Like, he specifically brought SZA because they have a song together as well, And then he also had, oh, this was so good, One Less Lonely Girl, and it was Billie Eilish. Just, she didn't sing with him, of course, but she was just the lonely girl. It was like One Less Lonely Girl. He dedicated the song to her, and she walked on stage, was pushed on stage by Haley, his wife. So that was amazing. That was so cute, especially knowing the lore that Billie is a massive believer, and there's videos of her when she was a kid, like just talking about how obsessed she is with Justin Bieber and all that stuff. Like, we've had this conversation before, of course, but they've had multiple interactions as well at Coachella, I think, as well, when Billie was getting really big in terms of popularity. So that was so cute. I found that very, very wholesome, very, very cute. Yeah, I think that was amazing. That was very, very heartwarming. So really, really enjoyed that. So yeah, those are my thoughts on like the headliners, at least. Now, of course, we have to talk about non-headliners, and let's start off with Cat's Eye, because we have to address, I guess, the big elephant in the room, and that's of course the fact that Manon was there, not with Cat's Eye performing, of course, because she's technically, according to her label, on a medical hiatus, but she was there in the crowds multiple times. But also at a certain point this past weekend, she was on stage with Pink Pantheress, just as a background character, I guess, but she was there. So, like, and also she's made it very clear on social media that she's attended, she's posted photos of different stages and everything else, she's tagged people and all that stuff. So it was just so weird to see this whole unfold in a way. And I think also she was hanging out with people that are not from her company or whatever. Like, also she wasn't seen with the girls, so it's just interesting to see all this. And also I feel like it's just quite sad to see Cat's Eye performing at quite a big crowd, but without Manon. And it was a dream. It's a very formative moment for many groups as well to go through. Like, if you make it to Coachella, you have some sort of pool. That's just the way it is. And to have Manon miss this is just quite sad, to be fair. Pinky Up, I would say that goes wild in the desert like that, with that massive crowd and just the type of music that it is. I think it was made specifically for Coachella. It's not going to be the biggest hit ever, honestly. Like, it's just writing wise very cringy and everything else, whatever. Production wise is pretty cool, but nothing to really write home about. But the performance was amazing. The girls killed it. The performances were amazing, and they brought out Hunter X or whatever, like Kill People Hunters people, and they sang Golden, whatever. Fine, but yeah, I just felt a bit weirded out by this whole situation, because Manon seems like, from her end, the way she's communicating is that she really wants to still be in public, and it was her dream also to be on Coachella and on a Coachella stage. So yeah, it's just sad to see this situation like this, but it is what it is, I guess. Like, I hope at least we get some closure of either Manon leaving permanently the group or rejoining, but I'm not sure if that would ever even happen, to be quite honest with you. Whatever. Also, unless you start giving them like actual good songs, or let them actually make music, like good music, these girls are always gonna be a meme. That's just what it is. Like, it's just gonna be, they're gonna be remembered as a memeable group rather than an actual, tastemaker, or like a good artistic group. So it's whatever. It's fine. Then well, the Pink Panther set was amazing. I think she deserves to headline, like, soon-ish. Like, she's just been... Pink Panther is the ultimate Gen Z artist. Like, she's just so good at what she does. She's just incredible. She has so many incredible ideas in terms of songs, collaborations, and everything else. Like, Stateside is her latest, genius idea to have Zara Larsson on it and just change the production and everything else. And she's just a trailblazer, and she understands the pop culture so well. So... just, I was so in awe of that, and the fact that she brought out, in the background, Manon, and then Slater and Chase Infinity as well, from, One Battle After Another. So smart, so cool, so funny. And then I have to give my flowers to Slater, my queen. Speaking of her, she really got a lot of buzz out of this. Like, her, she was on a smaller stage, but her, I think it was in a tent, like a massive stage on a tent, under tent. It was amazing to see the crowd and just crank it. I guess the song is crank, but crank it. That was incredible. Oh my god, seeing clips of that was just the energy she brought to the stage, and people are just loving it. The track is getting a lot of buzz at the moment, so again, we knew she had it in her, and this album seems to be getting really a lot of attention critically and also by the public, so it's very, very fun to see. I think she's found her like signature sound. Is like punk rockish screaming sound, but pair with like an electronic dance music, so very cool. Love to see it. Love people like, I love the fact that people are actually fucking waking up to Slater. So good. She's actually one of the OG hyperpop girlies, so that's so good. So it's so exciting to see. And then of course we had Addison Rae, who was amazing on her sets, and then she brought out of course Olivia Rodrigo this past weekend, and they performed Drop Dead, which is a new single by Olivia Rodrigo, but also I think they sang together headphones on, so that was a lot of fun. Loved them together. It was very cute. They're getting dragged a bit on social media for how they're singing, but it's fine. Like, it's whatever. Like, I'm not tuning into that. that's okay. But yeah. Who else? Is there any other thing that I want to really, really spotlight, I guess? Not really, to be honest. Like, I mean, the crowd was interesting. So I'm wondering who's going to be next year. We'll have to see, I guess, who pops off this summer. There's a lot of competition, I guess, that's building up. We have Olivia, we have Ari, we have Ariana already already headlined Coachella, so it's whatever. Like, she's not going to do it again. But there's a lot of potential this summer. And then there's Zara Larsson putting out a remix to Midnight Sun, the album. So that's fine. And then there's of course Madonna's. Oh my god, I'm so excited. Like, suddenly summer is shaping out to be a very interesting month, like season for music. So let's see if there's I hope we're gonna have a proper song of the summer. Out of all these projects, surely there's gonna be one song that's gonna take the world by storm, I guess. Let's see what's gonna happen with that. I'm excited to see how it unfolds. But yeah, these are my thoughts, I guess, on Coachella this year. Frankly, a mess as usual, but also interesting for pop culture moments. So I love to tune in, love to talk about it, love to let me know your thoughts about it. Let me know what you think of this Coachella 2-weekend extravaganza, I guess. And that's that. I'll leave you to the sponsor of the week, and then songs of the week after that. So stay tuned for some new music. Right, so summer is very much approaching. It's very, very soon, actually, like a month, and we'll be in it. But I need to put you on something that I've been looking at recently because I'm kind of obsessed. It's a brand called AKILA. If you are a fan of the show, you must have heard of them before because it's not the first time that they're sponsoring the podcast. But they're basically an independent eyewear brand based in Los Angeles, and they do these really clean handmade sunglasses and optical frames, but not mass-produced vibes. Everything is limited run, so it's actually very unique. And what I like about them the most, I guess, is that they're very design focused. Of course, they've got these plant-based acetate frames plus titanium ones that are super lightweight, and apparently they have this S-curve thing on the side. So they actually mold to your face a bit better, which makes them seem sort of much more fitted. And it also makes sense because most sunglasses low-key never fit properly. So if you're on your laptop a lot, just like myself, they do optical frames as well with blue light lenses built in, which is actually very useful as well. And they just feel a bit more elevated without being ridiculous, if that makes any sense. So if you want to check them out, go to AKILA. So it's KILA.LA, and use my code overshare pamphlet for 15% off. That's the best discount they offer anywhere. And just so you know, you do also help me with the podcast if you use the code, because I do earn a commission through it. So you're also supporting not only yourself and your style, but also me. But yeah, if you've been wanting new sunglasses for summer, this is a good place to start. Anyway, back to songs of the week. So we have 3 songs that you can, now find in the Overshare Pamphlet Songs of the Week April 2026 playlist that is on Spotify. You just need to search that and that's it. These 3 songs are very, very cool. There's one specifically that I really want to talk about in depth, I guess, but I'm not going to be too long, of course, just a little nugget, I guess. But first off, we have Good Is a Lie by Samara Sin. I guess that's how you pronounce her surname. If not, apologies. That's CYN. Samara Sin's track Good Is a Lie is from her EP Detour, and it really is like a Steve Lacy type of track. Very, very cool. Sort of R&B, but also jazzy, and there is a bit of a rapping element into that as well, like hip-hop element in the second verse as well. And it dives into like the emotional turmoil basically of our relationship, where one person becomes unresponsive, leaving the other questioning everything basically about their shared experiences and just the other person, like if the whole thing that they had was a lie or not, basically, like if it was all in her head or not. The song captures the frustration, I guess, and confusion that arises when a partner's indifference makes you wonder if the good times were even real. That's just the way it is. It's a raw exploration of seeking acknowledgement, and then I think understanding just in the face of emotional distance what really is that drives a relationship forward, I guess. Very cool. Super vibey in terms of production and everything. I really recommend. If you like Steve Lacy or if you like Duckworth or whatever, this is it. Like, this is for you for sure. Then I want to talk about Diamonds on My Teeth by Claudia Valentina. This is more like a electronic dance song. It's all about bouncing back stronger after tough times, like a very interesting metaphor as well. She mentioned that the song reflects also a realization that even when people let her down, she got everything she needs to keep going. So it's very like a self-affirming song. It's her way of saying no one can break me. So it's very, very, very good. She's Claudia Valentina is not a new girl in the scene of EDM and just like electronic production, but because she has already collaborated with like a lot of very important producers like Circuit, Mike Sabath, and Kirkpatrick. But yeah, I mean, I think the most interesting thing about this song is the production. It's very, very cool. It has a weird filtered effect that is, I think, very common also in Billie Eilish's songs. It's very cool. I really, really enjoyed it, and very nice vibe and very nice beat, most importantly. And then something I'm really, really excited about is KGB by Adela. Now, I've talked about Adela multiple times. She was also, speaking of Cat's Eye in this episode, she was on Dream Academy, which is the TV show that showed how Cat's Eye was put together, and she was one of the contestants that didn't make it into the group, of course, but she became a solo artist, and her music has been very, very, very good. Like, so good that I'm like, this was the best decision, like to just like be solo and just do whatever has been the best decision she's ever made. She's so, it's so interesting to see her so confident and sure of who she is as an artist already. Like, even though she's a very new artist, she's just incredible about her looks, about her productions, about her videos, about just the performance of it all. She's an incredible dancer, incredible tastemaker, I think, and she knows what she's doing. Like, it's just insane. Like, someone with this much confidence off the bat is just hard to come by, and so I definitely need to shout out my girl Adela. So go stream KGB, which is the first single off of her new album coming out this year, supposedly. Very excited about that. But this song, I've been replaying it so much, but I also been wondering like, why does it remind me of something? I couldn't put my finger around it, but I think in the end I sort of got the feeling. In a way, it's like it reminded me so much of like Kim Petras for whatever reason, like Europop a bit. But also, I found Sour Candy by Lady Gaga having a lot in common with this. Like, it's a bit housey as well, the song. It's very similar in production to that, in a way. It's so interesting. Such an interesting production as well. Love it so much. And it's very funny because she has a lot of, like, weird inflections here. Like, she screams a bit in this, like she goes very high pitched at a certain point. Like, it's just very, like, the pre-chorus is very funny as well. It's just like very bratty and brassy as well. It's so funny, so good. Yeah, the song was previewed multiple times by herself, but also she's been on tour with Demi Lovato opening for her, so she's been gathering a lot of attention lately, even more. And yeah, the song came out and it was even more interesting than I expected. KGB is also, of course, if you know anything, it's like the, like, you know, ex-Soviet Union, USSR, like, intelligence force. And she's, in the song, she's like sort of like reflecting on her experience of becoming, you know, a pop star, basically, being, you know, from from Eastern Europe, and like moving to the US, and being, like, you know, obsessed with American culture and learning English from the YouTube and other videos and other mediums of, guys, of pop culture, since she was like 8. And she's like, call me the KG bitch, because I'm literally, like, you know, from the Eastern European bloc, and I've been studying this shit my whole life, and like infiltrating like a spy, basically, the American market. It's just a smart concept, and it tells you also a lot about herself and how dedicated she is to the work and everything else. It's such a quirky track. I really love it. So go listen to it. It's a bop. It's a bop. Certified. Don't you don't need any more convincing than that. It's just like a bop. If you feel like in a mood for a very quirky track, this is it. So yeah, just go check out the playlist. It's on Spotify. Every month I collect the songs of the week for each episode that I put out in that month. So yeah, just check it out and enjoy. And I'll see you in the next episode. Bye.